Today I will speak about a concept called be great. When Reverend Marwa told me that the theme for this social evening is preparing for greatness, I was very excited, I was very energized, because one of the concepts that I teach is that of be unlimited, be great. So I said, well, they chose a theme which for me it will be very easy to speak on, because I've already delivered talks on be great. And I say, well, what is that I'm going to share with you today is a concept called be great. But by sharing that concept with you, I'm going to unpack the word great. And I will just take 3 letters out of that. Before that as well, I was saying that maybe before I unpack that, initially I wanted to speak a little bit about gender-based violence. You know why I wanted to speak about that? But I'm not going to speak about it today. The reason why I wanted to speak about that is that I've been contracted by MTC to go and box on the 12th of October in an effort to fight gender-based violence. And having served in the Namibian police for a number of years as a detective, having investigated a number of cases involving gender-based violence, including in UNAM. I remember 1999 being called to go to investigate a case at UNAM where a guy wanted to kill a girlfriend, shot about 8 rounds in UNAM and in the room of the lady, went on to kill himself. And because of those many cases that I have investigated, and also the fact that I come from a village called Olunkono village, the humble, poor background where I grew up, something special about that village, gender-based violence do not take place there. No case of murder that have taken place there over the past 50 years, and men there do not beat women, or you do not hear these cases and so on. But one day, the Reverend invite me specially, if they want, I would want to come here and speak about this issue and give my view as to what I think can be done by a lady in a relationship to avoid that, and also what I think the men can do for them to try by all means not to ruin their life by thinking that if you are dumped, that's the end of your life, which is not the case. You don't want to end up in prison, but we will talk about that one day. Only on condition if you invite me. Now, I said I will unpack for you within the next 15, 17 minutes, then we are done, the concept of be great. But before we do that, I want all of you to stand, and we are going to do a little bit of an exercise. I told you that the theme of tonight is preparing for greatness. And I do know the Reverend Isaac Mawa have discussed with me about one of the concepts that he talk about, the fact that you're all destined for greatness. But before we do that, I wanted us to do a specific exercise. Yes, she knows what I was going to say. We're going to close our eyes, and when you close our eyes, today we're not going to do future pacing. I want you to show me a direction, a specific direction, but maybe I will give you the simple one. You're going to show me the direction. When I was a detective in the Namibian police, they teach you this direction. You need to know it as a detective. When you come at an accident, a scene of accident, you need to indicate that the direction, this direction is on this side, so that the judge or the prosecutor can understand, can have a complete view of the scene of the accident. So I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and when I say 3, all of you are going to point in that specific direction. Now, sometime when I speak at other school or at some other company, some people do not know the direction. They do not, when they are here, they are clueless about direction, and some people, they just do like, you remember that classmate of yours at a higher school or low primary school, whereby they check what you have written and they just copy. Even if it's a wrong answer, they just copy the wrong answer. So don't do that. If you don't know the direction, don't do like the other colleagues. I was speaking to some Namibian in London. I went to visit and I spoke to them, and some of one is pointing that the direction is there, and they confused me more. So the direction that I want you to point to me is direction north. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and please show us where you stand, direction north. We need to know where we are. But what is important is for us every time to know where we are going. How will you prepare for greatness if you have not defined that greatness? That greatness cannot be defined to you by your parents, by your friends. You have to define it yourself. Because the greatness of, let's say for example, the greatness of Steve Jobs, for example, is not the same greatness of Mother Teresa. You understand? But they have all made a dent in the universe. Mother Teresa have made a dent. Nobody will need, it will not be important for her to have a tombstone, but her name will always be written in the books of history. Nobody will forget her. The same with Steve Jobs, whether you like it or not. Can you see the difference about greatness? So greatness, your greatness that we are preparing for tonight, it's different from one person to the other. Whilst we are here, before I start unpacking this letter, because I only have 3 letters, then I'm done. I was just thinking that because I promised that today I'm not going to give you tips to save you from gender-based violence, the future pacing, how many people here know the concept of future pacing? This concept, when I was starting to become an accredited transformational coach in UK, I came upon this concept of future pacing. And remember, in the ACT, apply, change, teach, or train, whatever you learn, it only matters when you are able to train others or to teach others. Therefore, this concept of future pacing, I don't want to I think, how many people know this future pacing concept here? I see one. Your name again? Yeah, Kito. Kito knows it. Another person who knows the concept of future pacing? I see. Your name, please. Frida, my sister. Okay, so Frida, my sister, you do not. She's my sister, and she also do not know the future concept. Okay, let's all start. I think, can I share with you briefly in 1 minute? You want to know what the future pacing is all about, so that when you, as a university student, when you go back even to the village, you are also able to say, hey, future pacing or whatever you may think. I think you are educated. What do you think? Okay, let's stand up and do future pacing briefly. Okay. Remember, we're talking about preparing for greatness. This concept of greatness comes from the field of NLP. NLP is a neuro-linguistic programming. It's a psychological, it's a field of psychology. They then have this concept where they are saying, you know, sometimes you would want, for example, maybe to graduate as a nurse, as an engineer, as a chartered accountant, or to become a police officer, or to become a lawyer. And you then have a plan, preparing for your greatness. You then plan, I have to do this, I have to register, I have to attend classes, I have to study, I have to associate with people that can benefit and build my life, I have to be positive, I need to make sure that I'm not in toxic relationships. You plan all those things, eh? And also that which you have learned from your parents, you plan all those things. And there's a lot of steps. Now with future pacing, what they teach you is that sometimes you don't need to waste time. Once you are preparing for greatness, you just define it. You say, this is where I want to be by when, for example. I want to see myself as a professional or as a business person, okay? Or as a family man with a lot of kids living in this house. You see your car, so you already get yourself there. Remember I told you that your greatness and someone's greatness, Mother Teresa's greatness and that of Steve Jobs, they are two different ones. Do you understand? Now, with future pacing, you close your eyes, but don't close now. You get in your mind, just for 1 minute, normally we do it for 2 minutes, every day 4 o'clock, when I wake up to go to the Hours Mountain with many top professionals, including Dr. Ndume, we do it for 2 minutes every day on anything that we want to happen in our life, and it works. So now you are going in your mind to future pace you being great or in your greatness. By the way, before maybe we do that, let me ask first, what is greatness? What does greatness mean to you? Can I have just someone on this rock? I want someone to put up, yes please. Please come and tell us, what does it mean to be great? Or what did greatness mean to you? Thank you. You say your name and you say what greatness meant to you.
Well, my name is Titus. Greatness to me is me reaching my full potential. And it's defined by time. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Titus. 100% correct. Now I need from a lady as well. Gender, please. Gender. Yeah. I need a lady again to come and tell us. Thank you, Titus. I need another definition of, because remember, your greatness and someone's greatness, they are very different. Can I have someone else to tell us what is the meaning of greatness? Okay, yes, please. Come and identify yourself and be happy and be energetic and be great. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Can you tell us greatness?
Good evening, my name is Petrina. For me, greatness is putting out everything that is good, that is within the inside of you, and putting it out so that it benefits the next person and not just yourself.
Give a round of applause to Petrina and to Titus as well. Thank you very much. Now, what we are then going to do, okay, excellent definitions. The other definition is also that some people, they will say, greatness is just being great. You understand? Eminence, being distinct, you understand, beyond excellence. Do you get? Now, for 2 minutes, you close your mind and you focus on you being great. Don't limit yourself. Remember, some of you may have heard about the concept being unlimited. Don't limit yourself. Focus on yourself. Now that you have prepared for greatness, when you then have achieved your greatness, and you enjoy that moment. I'm going to count from 1 to 3, then we start future pacing our greatness. Is that fine? Yes. Okay, Pastor, we will do it as well. Everyone must do it. Let's do it. All of us, let's do it, okay? I'm going to count from 1 to 3, then we future pace being in our greatness. 1, 2, 3. Please close your eyes and see yourself having achieved greatness as it was defined. See it. Feel it. Enjoy it. Experience it. Now I'm going to count from 3 to 1. And when I come to 1, I'll ask you to come back to the real world. 3, 2, 1. Please open your eyes and come back to the real world. How do you feel? Okay, thank you. It's been so nice, huh? I talk about the importance of knowing where you come from, where you are, and where you are going. I also want you to know that we're talking about preparing for greatness. You are not defined by your past, but you can define your future. It's in your hand. It doesn't matter where you come from. I told you I come from a very, very poor background. Doesn't matter where you come from. And I was very happy to hear Pastor Reverend Havendi said many people who have gone on to make it are those who have struggled. It's very true, scientifically proven. But also you need to know one thing, something that Bishop Vivi Nambara once told me. We shared the stage and he was telling the people to say, if you come from a household that is a well-to-do, where your parents, they have it all, just know that that richness is not yours. And that which your parents have achieved to become great does not automatically make you great. You can even inherit and end up like that boy who went on to Pangrot and eat umakakarashi. Now, Now, if you come from a household where there is poverty, where it's not normal to have 2 meals per day, just also know that that poverty is not yours, and that must serve as a motivation for you to be able to work harder to change that situation and for you to achieve greatness, because achieving greatness is possible. Let's just say this one together. It's possible. It's possible. Achieving greatness is possible. You just shout, I say, achieving greatness is possible. Achieving greatness is possible. No, you say it's possible. It's possible. Achieving greatness is possible. It's possible. Thank you. Now, in life, before I unpack for you the great and I conclude, there are 3 paths. Enjira virindatu monkara mwenye. Munano njira ine, one path goes to failure. If you find yourself in the path of those who are drinking alcohol, of those who think that, oh, must just be around with these guys who are wasting your time and so on, or drugs, or the path who just want to makiti and not studying and taking your study very serious. If you find yourself in the path where you want to enjoy life now, just remember that in life you have to pay the price. You either pay the price now or leave later, or you leave now and pay the price later. I learned that from Master Edwin Chipuka, is CEO of F&B. Now, one path goes to failure, another path goes to mediocre or average, another path goes to success. 3 paths. Now ask yourself, remember, there's one thing that I want, if you forget everything that I will share with you tonight in the next 7 minutes, I want to finish in 7 minutes. Just know that the most important thing, you must develop a deep sense of self-awareness. Get to know yourself. Where you're coming from, the value that pastor spoke about, your values. Where you're going, you need to develop a deep sense of self-awareness. Know whether you are in the path that goes into failure, mediocre, or success. And when you think you are on the path to success, just know that success, just like what Titus says, well, it's momentary. You need to keep moving. You never believe that you have achieved greatness. You never believe that wathika, you have arrived. Because the moment you think you have done it, you have arrived, just know that the end is near. Now, let me unpack. There's one gift that I was given by the Almighty. And this gift, when I decided a few years ago that I'm going to become a motivational speaker commercially, getting paid to speak, one of the gifts I was given is that I can take any letters, you can throw any name to me, or any letter, all the letters from alphabetical, you can throw them to me any time of the day, and I will be able to give a talk around them without preparing. So now I take the word great, for example. I could have said, talk about goals, relevant, execution, attitude, and think. But I'm not going to finish the entire word because I have to finish. There are other speakers that have to come. Today, in the word greatness, I'm only going to pick. Should I pick 3 or 2 words? I can pick goals and relevant, but it's up to you. Can I pick 3 or 2? 3. You are the boss, you decide. Okay, then I will unpack those 3. Let me start first one with, remember, before I unpack this, at times when pastors or transformational coach or motivational speakers speak, most of the things that we talk about are things that we have heard many times. And some of the things that I will speak about again, nothing new, except maybe the future pacing, are things that you have heard before. But you must ask yourself, why have you not acted about it? Maybe you have not applied the concept ACT. Do you understand? And also there's nothing wrong to hear something and you hear it again, but you must implement and move to the next level of your life. Let's start with G. The G stands for goals. In life, we must always have goals. We have heard this 1,000 times. But if I ask, how many of you have written down your goals? Put up your hands, those of you who have written down your goals. Thank you very much. Give yourself a round of applause. Those of you who have written down your goals, be grateful, make it a habit, it will take you very far. Remember, in company, in corporate, no company or government exists without having national developmental plan or vision. Why do you think, in all the successful companies, they've written down their plans? You don't achieve greatness by accident. You need to, that's why they also say that you need to do some work. You also need to plan as to where you want to go and what are you going to do to get there where you want to go. Do you understand? Now you need to have goals, and these goals that you must have, sometimes we just say, I want to pass with good marks, or I want to get money, or I want to have this great friend, I want to have this great fiancé or whatever. One thing that we forget when we talk about our goals or write our goals is our health. One of our very important goals is about how are you going to manage your health. And I see some people who are slender. They think, no, I don't have a lot of weight, I don't need to exercise. We all need to exercise, we all need to eat well. Because if you take care of your health, you'll be able to take care of all other study, manage your energy and so on. What is the need for you to graduate, but because you have not taken care of your health, you will be in the hospital bed with your degree, with a lot of money. Remember even Steve Jobs, money couldn't save him. And he said, the most expensive bed is the sick bed, because you cannot delegate someone to come there on your behalf. Plan, write about your health, financial, social, spiritual, all those goals, career-wise, mentorship, who is going to mentor you, who is going to coach you, have all those goals. I don't want to waste much time on goals, I want to move on. But I would want you also to take note of, I don't know, most of you, I want to know of which verse, as I used to be a teacher, when I was working in the Namibian police, later on I used to teach at Polytechnic of Namibia. I used to teach investigation of crime and police science. That's about 17 years ago. But I wanted to ask you a question, be a student for a time being. Which verse in the Bible speaks about vision? Just put up your hand. I'm testing you. Which verse in the Bible that talks about vision? Let me give it to you. I don't want to waste time. Let me give it to you. Because it's a social evening for Christian student. I'll give it to you. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2. Okay? Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2. It speaks about write the vision and make it plain on tablets. You must write it down. Your goals, you must write it down. Are we together? Please, if you did not know that, know it. Your goals, it's not enough to have it in the head because you will not be very much accountable. Let's move to the next letter. It's R. Be relevant. Okay? In life, you are either relevant or irrelevant. I tell you what, one day when Pastor Marwa decided to leave the University of Namibia, remember, he's not the very first reverend to serve the university. But how many reverends who have served the university were able to have the impact and be able to be willing to be fisher of men, to be willing to spend their entire evening giving back and preparing future leaders for greatness? Do you understand? I think it's going to be relevant. You guys are not going to forget him. You guys are not going to forget the upcoming IAS. You will never forget Reverend Afeni and that which you entertained us, you inspired us. Do you get? Now, in life you are either relevant or irrelevant. I want to see how many of you want to be relevant by show of hand. Okay? Who want to be relevant? Remember, words have power. If you joke about this thing and you are not putting up your hands, you may be irrelevant. Okay. How many of you are relevant? All of you put up your hands. All of you are relevant. I want to tell you one thing. All of you, you are relevant. You You are special. Whilst you are here, some people are drinking and wasting their life. You guys are destined for greatness, and I'm very, very humbled to be in your company. So, but just know this concept. In life, you are either relevant or irrelevant. You need then to ask yourself, what are you going to do to be relevant in your university, to be relevant to your parents? And why is it important to be relevant to your parents? When you respect your parents, when your parents are very proud of you, a lot of blessings. I have just noted that. My parents, they are no more. But there's one thing I know. My mother and my father, they are no more. But before they died, they were very, very proud of the boy they were bringing up. They were very happy. And I can say this with an open heart because I knew my mother was very proud of me. When I was a young boy, she already told me that you are going to break the poverty cycle. My father, who was a very, very proud man. I remember when I was working for the United Nations in 2000 and 2002 in East Timor. And when I came back, and one day I drove with him at that side of Tapatapa on Gajera, and when we meet some of his friends, they say, oh, is this the boy you have been talking about? He was already saying, hey, I have my son and he's in Australia there, in his team. He was very proud. Be relevant to your parents. Be relevant before the Almighty. Be relevant in your society, in your community. You do not need to start earning a salary before you start making an impact. Let me maybe briefly share with you how I make myself relevant at Ipumbu. I will not share with you how I make myself relevant at UN or at Bank of Namibia. I will share with you how I made myself relevant at Ipumbu Senior Secondary School. I came there in 1991. Came from a Mkono village, poor background. And when you come from a village and you are in Oshakati, these guys who are from Oshakati here. Okay, if I like you, yeah, I'm also from Oshakati now, but I'm from Mkono village. But you know, what happened is that when you come in Ipumbu Oshakati Senior Secondary School and you're from a village, you know, in Oshakati, people, they even have a way how they talk. You know, Kazali, Baza, you understand? And the way how they walk. Now, if you are not from Oshakati, Dakota, you're also from Oshakati, from Wedivan, yeah. When you are from the village, they look to you as a Gweli, you understand? And when they look at you as a Gweli, those guys, because they can speak English, they grew up before television, they don't want to associate with this guy who are Gweli. Now you're also 16, the ladies, they also do not want to associate with the guy who is from, unless if you come maybe from a well-to-do house. I say, it's myself, okay, Brother Mawa. Mawa is a brother of the pastor and Velem and Eino and Mvula Eino. We say we need to do something to become relevant. This is what we did, and I'm done with R, then I move to E, then I'm done. We say, okay, let's join soccer. First we started playing soccer for the school, but again he said, no, we're just playing for Ipumbu, let's also get teams outside, because the soccer inside will make us relevant within Ipumbu, but we also need to be relevant in Oshakati. That's how I went to join Young Chiefs. I said, this is not enough. I said, you know, with soccer, sometimes you are not well blessed as a good soccer player, and you are 11, so the attention is not just to you. Then I said, no, let's join also boxing. That's why I joined boxing. And my weight division, that time I was not big as I'm big now. I used to weigh 30 kg. But 1991, I was a champion in my weight division. And when you're a champion, everyone look up to you, they like you, you're getting attention. Because we say, no, in soccer, you don't get, attention is not only to you, but in boxing, it's only you and them. I said, let's join boxing. As if that was not enough, we also said that, look, we're going to take the good subject, math, business, science, business what?
Studies.
Yeah, business study. Yeah, fine. Then we also said, no, if that is not enough, there's a concert. You know, there's a group of a concert that entertain the school on Fridays, and they go to work in the rich people's land so that we can get paid. Sure, we join that one. When you join that one, now imagine now you come from a village. In the concert, it was only for the ladies. We were the only the guys. And when you sing, you would even sing, there are even some song where you hold the lady here for the first time because you're at the village. So you hold here and you sing song like, for example, I can tell you what, after that, you can, anyone who has a Tipumbo between 1991 to 1994 knows Mvula Eino, knows Mawa Mawa, Velem Kahupi, Johannes Usiku, Sem Shivute. You understand? Just ask yourself, how I make myself relevant will be different from you. How are you going to make yourself relevant in your school, before your parents, in your church, before God, in your society, and international as well? The last one is about execution. Remember, sometimes we have these beautiful goals, plans, but we do not execute. I think it's in Jeremiah where there is a verse that talks about faith without action is dead. You cannot just be future pacing and you are not taking action. That's why in future pacing, we also have what we call reverse engineering. Now that you have come where you were in greatness, you need to ask yourself, for me to get there, what was the last step I needed to take? If you were maybe seeing yourself on holiday in Jamaica, you must then say, I needed to get to Jamaica to that holiday resort. I needed to have landed there by a ticket. This ticket, I needed to pay for it, how much? I needed to work. You need to do reverse engineering and work. You got to work. You do not just think and think you will get this or plan and not putting in work and you think you will get it. You got to put in work. Therefore, it's important to execute. Why do I want to encourage you guys to execute? You know one thing that, sometime I work for the University of Namibia. And one thing that disappointed me sometime in Namibia, I'm looking forward to a time when I see someone in their second year or first year already opening up their business and being of service to society and making money. Why do you guys, even if you are teaching for nursing, starting for nursing or teaching, don't limit yourself. Why in America businesses are built and started by people who are in university, the Mark Zuckerberg, the Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, all those guys who are billionaires today, but here you expect first to finish and even start work, even complain. You even have an opportunity to have a university opportunity, to attend university, and you are complaining about lack of employment. While you have people with no grade 10 building businesses. I'm not saying all of us must go into business, because achieving greatness is not only about having a business, but it can also be about a difference that you are making in society and community. I talk about Ndakonja Usiku earlier on. Ndakonja, I wanted you to stand up just a little bit. I always move around with Ndakonja. Ndakonja is a second year chartered accountant at NAST. But he's a businessman. But what I like about Ndakonja is that one day this year he attended Olafika training, and also he was one of the organizers of a Night of Inspiration. Night of Inspiration is an event that I founded about 5 years ago to inspire people, but that one people pay a lot of money. Don't worry about that. But after attending that and took notes, he said out of that he went on to open a business and open his own startup masterclass for startup business people. And I think he already had the third session making money at Kwama there. Now he just came from South Africa where he had a meeting with Robert Kiyosaki, Lisa Nichols, and many other people. You do understand? I'm giving this example because most of us sometimes we attend a lot of sermon inspired and it ends there because we don't execute. That's why Peter Dell said, it's not about the idea that you have, what matters is the speed at which you execute. Before I became, I went into the business of Shivute inspiration, motivation. I was speaking coach. I think it was 2014. Madam Monica Kalondo, by that she was just Monica Kalondo, not the first lady, was invited to talk at TEDx. And she was given an opportunity to bring 2 guests. And I was a lucky person. And she said, Sam, I'm going to speak at TEDx. I did not even know what is TEDx. I want you to come with me. Here is your ticket. I attended. I saw what people are doing. And I said, wow. TEDx and people speak for free and so on. I'm going to create my own business. And you remember, if you are not from a speaking background, nobody will invite you to give you a speaking opportunity. So after that, I said, look, I did not study communication. Unlike you guys, I never had an opportunity to sit and to attend university full time in my life. I said, but I'm going to create my own opportunity. As a result, after attending that event, I started my own Night of Inspiration. From 2015 up to today, always sold out. Now we've spoken in Canada, I've spoken in Canada, I've spoken in Switzerland, I've spoken in London, I've spoken in Mozambique, South Africa. Now I'm scheduled to talk in Denmark next month. I'm talking in Czech Republic next year, February. Last week when I spoke in Swakopmund, immediately after speaking, I got an invitation to go and speak in Ghana. I want you to know that it's possible. So what I want you to know from this letter, goals. It's important to have your goals. It's important to be relevant, to ask yourself, am I relevant enough and what else can I do? And you must execute. Now in conclusion, I'm going to share with you in conclusion, but I'm not sharing you with this to impress you or to boast. You understand? I'm sharing it with you. Maybe it may inspire you also to take action, just like I took action to become unlimited. I have not yet achieved greatness. I have not yet achieved any success, but I'm on my way, and I'll continue working very hard. But coming from a Onkono village, not being able to go to university, immediately after school I have to work as an assistant taxi driver. I have to join the Namibian police. I have to tell my mother that, look, I will do everything to pay my own study. Up to today, nobody, except maybe Bank of Namibia later, nobody from my family or from anywhere, I have never applied for a study loan from government or from any company when I was growing up. I funded my own education. Working from the police, I was studying at Polytechnic. When I went to Bank of Namibia, I started studying law, funded myself, and later on, of course, Bank of Namibia said they will refund me back. But what I want to tell you, which I want you to know that it's not boasting or impressing you, is that after then having my goals, after asking myself what can I do to become relevant, after executing some of my goals, what happened then? Of course, I studied. A father with 3 kids, very happily married. Now, hang on. There are now few positions that I'm in now. And all those positions, I did not apply or hand in my CV. All the positions I will share with you now. The position, of course, as a chairperson of Shivute Inspiration and Transformational Coach, I did not apply for it. That is one position that I currently have. I will not talk to you about the past position. That's one. Active. My office is in Auspenplatz. It was open after hour and during weekends. So we are talking now, people are there working. Then, one of the positions also that I was just, because when you prepare yourself, things will just happen. Director of Bank of Namibia as banker to the government, I didn't apply, didn't hand in a CV. Responsible to, as a director of banking services. First I went there as a chief of security, but now that is what I'm serving, active. You must count there. Then there's the National Housing Enterprise chairperson of the board. Didn't apply. The first term ended, got the second one by a different minister, did not apply. Then a few years ago, the UNAM alumni, they elected me to represent them to go to serve the University of Namibia Council. The first day I attended that meeting, all the other council members, the PhD, or the professor, they said Shivute will be our chairperson. And that's how I became a chairperson of the University of Namibia Council. I did not apply to be the leader of the University of Namibia. When the term finished, I got a call from the president, and he said, Sam, I want you to continue at UNAM. Please, can you come and pick up the letter of your appointment? I went to State House to get my letter. So I'm serving there in my 4th year at UNAM as a chairperson. I did not apply. Then last year, September, I got a letter from SWAPO. It says, Sam Shivute, you are the chairperson of the Defense and Security Cluster of the SWAPO think tank. I did not apply. Can you see when you work on your goals and you just work on how to be relevant? Wait. Then once we are there, after that appointment, then last week I got a call from Ambassador Mboti. He said, Sam, please come to the National Assembly. I have a letter for you from the President. You have been appointed as a National Governing Council for the African Peer Review Mechanism in Namibia. We will be responsible with other 10 people to ensure that Namibia is reviewed by its peer and also to help review other country peer review. Now you need to study and check what is Africa Peer Review Mechanism. Student, you must study that. All those 5 active positions I'm serving now, I did not apply any. There are a few things that I want you to take away from. You need to know what are the top 10 skills that you need to know to thrive in 2020, during the 4th Industrial Revolution. You need to know what is in Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. Need to know Vision 2030. Need to know these people. Don't just have your own plans. You must also know your own plans, the plans of the institution that you are studying or working for, the plan of Namibia, the plan of Africa, and the plan of the UN or the world. So on that note, many people will tell you that you cannot achieve this. I told you, I have only achieved 30% of what I want to achieve in my life. Only 30%. But sometimes people will tell you that this is not possible. And when they say this is not possible, just tell them it is possible and be unlimited. Because I have always been inspired by the quote that says, we are unlimited being, limited only by the concept of limitation that we place in our mind. I thank you very much. Be unlimited and be great.